Hello. A week ago, I bought an Instax Wide 300 instant film camera. It had a plastic lens. It had only two focus settings, up close or really far away. I have no idea how many apertures it had. But what I've been doing all week, and this is my third attempt, I've been trying to get a medium format lens onto this camera body, and here is the result. It's a Schneider Kreuznach, I don't know how to say it, 105 Radionar f 4.5 lens. What it delivers, instead of automatic focus or automatic non-focus, automatic aperture and automatic shutter speed, we have a front focusing element, so you can decide what you're going to focus on and how you're going to do it. We have full shutter control from bulb to 250, so in increments of 1, 2, 5. It's an old lens, mind you, and it runs a bit slow. Fuji Instax film is at 800, but when I do light meter readings, with this lens, I've been taking light readings at 1000 ISO. If I service the lens, maybe I would get more accurate readings, but right now it's a bit funky. But I wanted to show you how the camera works. I tore it apart, I took out the old lens barrel, I mounted a whole set of rings. Actually, they're not rings, they're actually UV filters, which I took out the filters and used them as spacer rings to get the lens the right distance away to the film plane. Now, this piece here is the most interesting piece and was the solution to my problem, or one of the solutions to my problem, because I did 3 iterations of this camera. That's actually a lens hood, and it's only by chance that it fit over the barrel that's inserted into this camera, which is actually also an added piece, but I can show you all that as I go through the camera. But more importantly, I thought I would just show you how it works. Now, the original Instax Wide 300 camera does a lot of things when you turn it on and push a button. First of all, when you turn it on, it'll take the original lens and barrel and open the lens protector, push forward the lens, barrel, and of course the lens itself. And when you press the shutter, it takes a light reading. I don't think it does anything in the autofocus department. I think it's fixed. There's only 2 settings. You used to be able to turn the knob and you can do up close or really far away. That was about it. So it had 2 distance settings. But it would take a light reading, and it was pretty accurate. I would say. The camera no longer does that, obviously, because the original lens is no longer there. There's no metering. I gutted the camera entirely. The only thing that works, this on-off button no longer works. The only thing that works is the shutter release. And the shutter release is no longer a shutter release because this lens, obviously, is a manual lens from medium format camera, my beloved Baldalux. It was a 6x9 originally. But I'm not going to shoot 6x9 anymore, so it's just too much hassle, and that's why I've been gravitating towards Fuji Instax Wide cameras. But so the shutter release here no longer does any of that stuff. It doesn't move the barrel forward. It doesn't take in the light reading. All it does, and it's the simplest circuitry, and I have it on my my camera blog, the shutter goes click.blogspot.com. That's the shutter goes click.blogspot.com. I'll show there. I can show you how I did the circuits, the wiring. But right now, I just want to show you what it does with film when you press the shutter release. So here we go. Half the function of the original Instax Wide 300 camera. So here we go. I'm just going to hit the shutter release. I'm going to count to 5 seconds. Watch, and you'll see why. Oh my goodness. Somehow magically I took a picture, and this is obviously previously exposed film, but you can see that this camera now functions as the ejection mode. So we eject the film and it passes it through the motors, which are being run by the same motor that runs the ejection, and you can develop film. So that's all I needed the camera to do, because all the other function is in the lens. We have a shutter release, we have a shutter setting, shutter speed setting. We can control the focus right here, and with this dial, we can control the aperture. There are a few problems when you gut an entire camera and take it apart the way I did. You can get all sorts of light leaks in here. Okay, so I've been chasing down one light leak. I think I may have solved it, but I'm going to give it a test right now. I'm actually going to load it with actual film. I've already preset the focus, and what I'm going to do is take a light reading, and in a second we'll take a shot with it. So just give me a second. Put it in. All right. I did that right? Okay, it's different when you try to do it in front of a camera. All right, so remember, the only thing the shutter release does here is operate the ejector and the rollers. So, of course, there's a dark slide in this film set, so we're gonna get rid of the dark slide. Remember, there may be problems with light leaks, so this picture will not be perfect, but I wanted to show you it in action. So let's get rid of the dark slide. It's around a 5-second count. That's what I usually count, and it's pretty accurate. I've never had a double ejection. I've never put 2 pieces of film out, and the ejector's never gotten in the way of the film. So I think it's a pretty fine way of doing it. You just guess, and other people have done it online, and there's just no problem with it. So what I'm going to do now is, if it is leaking, it's probably contaminating the film right now and leaking all over and creating these white streaks. I'm going to put a shutter release cable onto it. I'm going to put the camera right underneath this camera here. You're not going to see it. It's going to come out of the shot, but you will, I promise, you will see the whole rigmarole of it developing, so that you can see that it's bona fide. So I got a cable. I've already measured out the distance at 3.5, maybe a bit less actually. It's more like 4 inches. So we'll roll it back. I'm going to set it up, and hopefully it'll take a picture of my ugly mug. Not that nothing to brag about there, obviously, but let's see if we can adjust this so we can just get this. It's not so. Yeah, it's a bit funny. Let's see if we can put it on top of this so it doesn't roll over. Okay, so we may get a shot of me here. I'm gonna have cocked it, I believe. Who knows? I may have forgotten. But let's take a shot and see how it develops and see. I mean, I think it's at the right distance. I measured it with the measuring tape. So here goes nothing. You heard the shutter release. Okie dokie. And now we're going to get it developing just in case there are light leaks. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So why don't I leave this right here? That's a very exciting way of doing it. In front of my Vito B. That is another busted up camera. Not busted up, it's just got a lousy lens on it right now. It's got some hazing or crazy. Either it's glue or gunk in it. That'll be my next project, is to learn how to clean out a lens if it's possible. I'm hoping it's just fungus or something, because I think you can get rid of that. Okay, so right now, if it's leaking light, it's leaking onto the next bit of film, and you'll see streaks on it, right? Can't be helped yet, and especially now that I've loaded film into it. I could throw it into a dark bag. I could throw it into a dark bag and put this dark side in and then look for the light leak, which I very well may do. But there you go. It's developing. Here's the thing. Why did I do it? There are lots of modified Instax Wide 300 cameras online, but they don't necessarily show you how it was done. I've been trying to show you at my blog, theshuttergoesclick.blogspot.com, in my haphazard way. I will show you how I assembled the barrel and insert and had it attached to this lens hood and then these reverse filters without the filters in them. Then I had to cut a lens board, the equivalent of a lens board, and insert it into the last filter and then mount this thing. I mean, there are all sorts of opportunities for light leaks. It even may be leaking light from the circuitry and panel bits that used to go here, like the LED for, I don't know, when it charged the camera. And this was an LED for film count. I just obviously keep count in my head. But if you go to my blog, soon, not yet, I will take this camera apart shot by shot and you can see all the elements. So I'll at least give you, you won't have to do 3 iterations of the camera. You'll be able to find commonly available parts, nothing terribly exotic. Probably the most expensive thing in the whole project will be sacrificing or finding a lens hood. This is, I didn't have to alter this lens hood. I'm very lucky. It's just a great a Hoya lens hood, and you're gonna have to find some way of attaching this assembly to the rest of the camera. And so I'll show you what I did. I actually had to take apart a zoom lens. I hope you have a better way of doing it. Check it out. The Shutter Goes Click.blogspot.com. I'll show you all that. Oh, how's the picture going? It's a bit, it's a bit of that glare. That's a classic Fuji film thing, but there you go. I'm not even sure what's in focus. Maybe you can tell. I'll have to turn it around and look at it myself. I'm showing you, not me. But there you can see, and hopefully the few objects that you see on the table will give you an indication of the depth of field, and which you could never get, mind you. You could never get that depth of field with the original lens, because it only has, I believe, 1 aperture setting, maybe 2. I could look at the stats, and I'll put them on the explainer for this video. But there you go. Have fun. I spent too much money trying to do this. I'm going to try to save you money. I mean, I bought chisels, I bought chunks of wood, I bought circular drill bits to cut out discs so that I could create spacers. And in the end, I found 2 filters and a lens hood that did the trick. So I'll show you images of that, and maybe I'll cut them in so you can see the iterations of the attempts to get this right. One of the most important things is trying to get the focal plane distance, because the lens is set to be sharp at a certain distance so that you can get infinity focus. And I'm still trying to adjust it, because I don't know if this is terribly sharp. You can see the light leak, so it is leaking light somewhere. So that's 2 things I got to do, is adjust the camera so that it can be truly infinity focused. I thought it was. There are some problems with that, so I'll be working on that next. And then I'll be hunting down light leaks. Have fun. Don't waste as much money as I have trying to do this. It's really worth it, though. It's really great fun. So have fun hacking your camera. Have a great day.